not.
Nope. Okay.
Less with a good time.
Okay. Should we start there? Do we have good Q&A questions?
I think so. Yeah, Chris gave me some, and then there's some really good, solid ones about the company, like just the overall company. It's funny.
Ready, Fred?
All right, what's going on, podcast friends? We are on episode 16, I think we discovered. We were a little MIA last week. Our apologies, but we've had a few events, and we were traveling last week, and we had like a 36-hour turnaround, and I think we were both a little brain dead, and we just said fuck the podcast for a moment. So bear with us.
That's
We're
okay.
back.
That's okay.
That's all that matters. We have no excuses. But it's been a while since we kind of caught up. I think we had some guests on, but we wanted to kind of speak about some shit that we've been doing. All the way back to the Alpha Land event. Jeez, it's been so long I don't even remember. The Alpha Land event that we did with Anaka down there, which was a huge success. So anyone who came out to that, thank you guys so much. It was pretty cool having our first ever event be that successful. I think personally one of the coolest things that I saw was that it was honestly run properly and organized. Felt pretty organized.
Yeah.
Which like I figured it would just be a shit show. And we knew we have like amazing fan base and you guys would come out for us, but the fact that we were actually on schedule on plan was super cool. So yeah, what do you guys think of it?
I think the venue that we picked was like an absolute home run too.
Yeah, shout out to Christian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha Land's crazy.
The setup,
if
the
you-
way it was
If you
organized.
love the fitness industry and you just love gyms and architecture and everything in between, like that had to be the coolest fucking place you could ever go.
Yeah.
Full transparency though, people are like calling it the mecca, and then other people are getting triggered by people calling that. I think if you look at where fitness has changed now, with like the whole influencer fitness side,
Yeah,
it's the mecca for that,
for sure.
for sure. But
Yeah.
if you're like thinking of like old school Venice Beach bodybuilding,
It's not the same.
It's not the same as
Yeah.
that. But definitely, if you're just like young and like love to train fitness and like you want to TikTok a workout and film your shit and just have like a welcoming community for that, it's definitely a perfect place for that.
Yeah.
And it's just dope.
He calls it the fantasy factory of
Yeah.
fitness instead of the mecca.
Yeah.
Fantasy Factor is a better
Yeah.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it fits. So sick.
Sick. It was wild. It was really cool because a lot of you guys would like stop us in line too and talk about like the podcast and talk about how, you guys listen to all of them and like kind of like almost felt like you knew like a lot about us without us talking about it, it was like the first time.
Yeah, it was eye-opening to me. I mean, we
Yeah.
had a couple of those conversations together. It was eye-opening to me how many people actually paid attention to what we say on here and that they're actually excited about us connecting the dots from one to another. So just kind of a reminder that we got to keep this going because it's working.
No, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was dope. And then from there, we were there for how long we go for? Like 4 days?
4 days.
We were there for 4 days. And then from there we came back. We had like a week of, was it a week? We were back for like not even a week, like days.
Like 4 or 5 days, maybe.
Yeah, I think. No, it was a week.
Yeah.
We left the following Monday.
You're right.
8 days.
Yeah, so
were
we
here for
had
8
Brett in
days.
town.
Yeah, so Brett came in. You saw that podcast with Brett. And then the following Monday we left for the Vitamin Shop brand conference.
Yeah,
That was
Summit,
called?
Brand
Brand
Summit, yeah.
Which was really cool. It was like the top brands, I guess, of Vitamin Shop. And huh? Plus us. Yeah,
We
'cause
will
we're
be,
new.
but
yeah.
We
Well,
weren't
technically-
in there long enough.
Yeah, technically we are up there now. But when we first got there, they didn't even have our product, like all of our product. But it was a really cool experience. Like we talk about it all the time, but being on the opposite side of it and like being able to hear like real feedback from every store manager was probably one of the coolest things that, I think not negative and positive, but there really wasn't any negative because we were so new, but it was more so just like, we can't keep this on the shelf or whatever. But it was just like hearing like what we can do better for them. And some products that we really didn't even think would be like super sellers are selling like crazy,
Insane, yeah.
which is wild to me.
Yeah.
But
They were obsessed with Pump too.
it was
Yeah.
fun too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pump Squared. Yeah.
And then something else we can do a better job from a marketing standpoint. But one of the questions that I was asked, I think 4 or 5 times, was that just off of perception, they thought that there was a difference in our whey isolate and then Chris's protein, but those are both 100% isolates.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys watching might be assuming the same thing. One's not a concentrate, one's not a blend. They're both 100% isolates. That was kind of eye-opening to me of something that we need to do a better job of because we're trying to bring to you guys better products. But I think the perception of that might be that there's a difference between one being a blend or concentrate and one being a 100% isolate.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so we were there. We literally got there at like what, 10, 11?
We woke up at 5 a.m.
5
Woke up,
a.m.
yeah, woke up at 5 a.m. We got in at 11:30, got to the hotel, went straight to the Vitamin Shop in North Plano. Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
And then we were there until 5.
So 5, yeah.
And then we went to the hotel, changed, went to the cocktail party, went to dinner, woke up at fucking 7 in the morning, and then did the brand summit, and then left that night. So it was like the craziest week. Like that was insane.
I want you guys to
Got
share
pulled over
the
at 1:45 in the morning.
pulled over 145. What was her name? Or Uber driver?
Oh, I loved her.
She's amazing.
I forget.
Diamond
Diamond
Sapphire.
Sapphire. If you're listening to this.
Diamond Sapphire.
I
Yeah.
hope so. She
Killer
Facebook
Bum.
lived Chris for 6 hours, I think.
Yeah, so WrestleMania was happening that weekend, or the weekend prior, a few days prior, and it was the Monday after, and she was like, very eccentric. She saw me, she said, "Ooh, boy, like, look at them thighs," like, talking to me like that, like, just like as eccentric people in Southern America speak.
Yep.
But then Doms goes on to say that I'm a wrestler from WrestleMania.
Nickname Killer Bum.
Yeah, my nickname is Killer Bum. So if ever I'm going to WrestleMania, Killer Bum is coming for you guys. But I was like sitting there like shy, awkward as I am, and Dom was like running with it, like pushing the story, and she was like, "I don't believe you guys," and we were like just running with it. And to
She
this
believed
day, I
us.
don't know if she believes it or not.
I think she may.
But Dom claimed to be my manager. She claimed to just be a fan since she was a child that has stopped watching, so she didn't recognize who Killer Bum is. But she went on her Facebook Live and was like, "What's up, everyone? I'm with Killer Bum," driving him around Dallas, Texas, like filming me, and I'm just like standing there awkwardly, like, "Yeah, what's up? It's me." But it was fun. She was our driver for the whole weekend. So
She was awesome.
It's those little things that make those events a
Yeah.
lot more fun.
Yeah.
And
She
you
picked
gotta
us.
run with it.
She literally picked us up in a party bus to go to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leaked water
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
sure. It was
us five in the
flooding,
back
but-
just cranking like hip hop music. We're just going to dinner together.
It was incredible.
No drinks, just casual.
If you want to see a little interaction of that, it is on the latest Making the Brand YouTube.
Oh, it is?
Yep. I
Oh
filmed
my
a lot of
God.
that conversation in the Suburban.
That's amazing.
So
So that
that's-
YouTube video already up?
Yep.
So the last YouTube video
Yes.
probably before
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That
So
was
that's
mad fun. Yeah, but no, in all, it's just we're super grateful. I mean, I say this all the time, but it's pretty crazy to be in the position we're in. So we just want to thank you guys, and being able to do all this cool shit is just, it's life changing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And growing on that because we are trying to do everything better. We were talking about our events in the future.
yep.
Do you want to talk about that? Alex?
About
Should we?
the
The
like what
different
we were talking
ideas?
about. Yeah, so we were talking about it today actually. Well, for the last couple of days, and what we want to do is it's like tough, right? Because that's like this crossroads of like having an intimate event and also giving people the time to meet, Chris or chop it up with everyone. So what we were thinking is if we could provide like some type of a seminar for you guys where if you guys gave us the information you wanted, we could filter through all that information, get all the key points that you guys have questions about, whether it's business, coaching, fitness, influence, whatever, and then we can come to you guys with like really good quality information. Like, put on a seminar in Stewart where we have like maybe 2 groups of 250 people come in and we have a 4 or 5 hour seminar on all of the above. And, we want to be able to give you guys all that information, give you guys everything you need. And, how we can do that to best serve you guys is kind of what we're trying to figure out. So if you guys have any, I guess you could say like ideas or, what you would like us to talk about, or, if you were to come, what would you expect? That would all be awesome for you guys to comment or just let us know how we can be better and what we can do.
Yeah, a huge part of this comes from me because, like, after having that Alpha Land event,
Yeah.
I met like 1,300 people, and then we went straight to Texas and did another meetup there. And I just like it was separated by a week, but I felt absolutely brain dead.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're so grateful for the community we have, but like I can't like even say hi to people at certain points, just like running through pictures.
Yeah.
And like obviously we want people to come out and not feel like everyone's super grateful. They all still love the event, but we want to make sure people can have the option. We'll still do those meetups, but if you want to actually hear us talk, meet us, have a little more intimate, so it'll be more like high
High-end overview.
I mean, you
end,
could tell the difference
like-
just from
like-
Vitamin Shop.
yeah,
Like the time you spend with people at Vitamin Shop, because obviously there was only like 300 people there.
something like that. Yeah.
Versus like Alpha Land, which there were 1,300.
Yeah.
You got to like, and the reaction of the people was so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they were super happy at Alpha Land too, but it's just giving them that extra minute of talking is like worth, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You connect with the fans more, and if we can figure out a way to do that and not kill you, that would be ideal.
Yeah. It's also, I think we have like, if we were to sit down and have a reason like that for us to sit down and be like, okay, what's like serious knowledge we can like help these
Yeah.
people with? And like we said, you guys give us what you want leading into it. And we like actually sat down and created like presentations and seminars
Yeah.
of like helpful shit. I really think like what we've learned in our lives, personal, business,
For sure.
everything, like
It's valuable as fuck.
and like
Yeah.
our goal with our podcast and our content is to like inspire, educate,
Yes.
and like push people to be the best version of themselves. That's all we want to do. So I think this seminar thing is like exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, even like looking back at it, like we talked about it earlier, I don't even know like what, or I'm sure there are, I just don't know who they are or what they do, but like any seminars like this, I'm sure there's some that are very similar, but just figuring out like exactly what we can do and how we can make it perfect for you.
I think what makes us unique too is that there are seminars like this that exist, but I don't think it's all within one collective unit of people.
Correct.
Like I think not to speak highly of ourselves, but we could deliver on a lot of different subjects, topics, platforms without having to go outside of our own reach here in Stewart, which is cool. I mean, you could do business, I could do coaching, training, Chris could do mindset, Chris could do social media, influencer. I get asked all the time about, how can I be brought on as a raw ambassador influencer, but really a lot of that comes down to what you guys are doing, and Chris has a very good mindset and approach, so we could just approach this as a team, collectively come together and just bring something that's really impactful.
Yeah, and I think like you said too, like in our industry, which these people most likely are coming from our industry because that's where our following comes, it's like it requires all of what we do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one of us doing it. Like we collectively do what we do to be good at what we are good at.
Yeah.
So Chris alone, me alone, you alone wouldn't be nearly as successful as us together.
Right.
And you're right. So we get it. We get this specific industry, and I'm always down to help. So I would love to. I get questions. I mean, I get all the DMs all the time too, and it's just like it's tough because like there's not really a right answer to any of those questions. It's like, but if you have a backstory to it and you can build on it in like a seminar type event, I think I could relay information so much better than just answering someone's message on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because you build a story with it.
Yeah.
And then they have to listen to the whole fucking story. They can't just take bits and pieces that they want to hear and then forget about the rest.
Yeah. So those of y'all that are watching, just in the comments, let us know what you'd want to see. Obviously in a weekend we can only cover so much, but we can at least have an idea of what y'all want to hear, and then we can structure out the event properly to make sure we deliver on, what's most frequently commented on within the comments here.
Yeah. And then have different ones, right? Like start with like the number one seminar and then go to like the second, the third, and build.
Yeah.
As it goes, we continue to build. There's no way you can give everyone all that information at once.
Right.
But I think it'd be dope.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. Let's get some Q&A questions.
Let's run through it. Okay, so it's a mix of a lot of different things, from supplements to the business to a little bit of lifestyle. So I'm just going to run through what I have. First one being supplement focused. What is the key to making a well-rounded pre-workout?
I think you have to start with the goal.
Yeah, I mean, you
Like,
work
do you want
backwards, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is the goal? Is the goal crazy pump, crazy focus, crazy energy? And then I think that the perfect pre-workout is different for every person that you would ask that question to.
Yep, I agree.
So
I would say within those different focal points, though, regardless of that, it's always going to be something that you want to feel in some way. People are looking for something that they could feel in like a quick turnaround time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say some level of caffeine is going to help there. From a focus standpoint, caffeine honestly is one of the best performance enhancers, studied performance enhancers there is. It's just that it's abused and overused. But the response you can get from caffeine alone, if you're not abusing it, there's going to be a positive impact there in terms of focus, in terms of output, in terms of endurance. So it really comes down to what you, the user, wants out of that quote unquote supplement, and then tailoring it to those individual needs.
I like it. Next question. Is it hard to balance your personal life with business and training every day?
Yes, absolutely.
In short.
yes.
Yes.
I'm probably not the answer you want.
Sure.
But
How do you balance?
you don't.
You don't.
I can't. I mean, you try, right? You do things specifically to work towards that goal. But I think any goal-oriented person is always going to put, certain things before other things, and that's just something you live with.
Is it something you feel like you guys have to put? So, like right now, for business, do you kind of have to put your fitness and your health on the back burner just like a tiny bit and put that forward, or can you balance both?
No, I mean, I don't think that's a question, right? You have to make time for what you need, or what you expect. I don't know how to say it, but like you make time for that shit because it ultimately will fuck you up even more. Like I've known people who have said like, oh, I put my health on the back burner, but it's like there's no excuse to not put an hour of the day into, you know, doing that.
I mean, yeah, the more healthy you are, the more focus and
Yeah.
energy you have to put into.
I think
work it.
structure, I think all of this comes with structure and time management.
Time
And I think
management,
that's just
yeah.
like, you learn that over time.
Yep.
You learn that by being busy.
Mhm.
I don't think that it's something that you'll, like, I see kids, like, there's this kid on Instagram I follow, and I hope you don't know who I'm talking about, but like he posts his calendar on Instagram, and his calendar is like, wake up, eat breakfast, read this book, do this,
Meditate.
think about this. And it's just like, that's not real. Like
Mhm.
that, no one's life is like
Yeah.
that. Maybe his, but that's it.
Yeah.
So like, I think as you get busier, you just learn that, fuck, I have to use a calendar now. I can't just like take shit off the whim anymore. Or like, I have to do this, or I have to wake up at this time. And you just consistently get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to, or you fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't like losing. So I just like learn to get better as I go.
I think for me, one of the hardest transitions has been, I've always been like goal and performance oriented within my training. And that kind of has taken a back burner. So trying to transition into like, okay, Matt, like you just need to train to be healthy. That's been hard for me.
Well, that's like, it's an eating thing too for bodybuilders. Like I've noticed, like even with me, like I kind of just started doing it now, but like I used to just think like I needed to eat all this food because like that's what I always ate. I always ate like big meals, 6 meals a day or 5 meals a day. And like now I'm eating like maybe 3-4 meals, smaller snack type things. And I feel fine.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah.
But like, I just was so ingrained with this like weird, like I have to eat this much food. I have to do this. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Like you don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of like you don't need to train like you used to train.
Right.
Because you just need to train to be healthy.
Right.
You know, so that's definitely like a learning curve. And it's taken me like, I don't know, 10 years to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been like just being fully transparent. That's been the hardest thing for me in the gym is like even like if we came in here and we had no real driving motive,
Yeah.
that's hard.
Yeah.
To drive a business with no real driving motive, like that's hard, you know. And for me, it's like, okay, just to be healthy. Well, yeah, that's nice and that's well and good, but like
F&F, functional and fuckable. That's what you need to, that's
Yeah.
what you're striving for.
yeah, yeah.
So our man Seth told us that
Yeah.
at Vitamin Shop conference.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I've been at. So with that being said, if I have an hour left of my day and I can give an hour more to my kids, or I can go on the treadmill for an hour, you know, oftentimes I choose my kids, you know, because I get to impact them for a short window of time. And because I don't have this driving force in the back of my mind saying, you know, I have to accomplish X, Y, and Z, or I'm trying to get stronger, or whatever, you know, that's kind of where my decision-making process is at right now.
When I hear personal life, I think of right now. My focus is like relationship. So that was my hardest thing now because I was never busy before.
Sure.
When you're just a bodybuilder, like you just chill and eat. Right? It's not
Sure.
that hard. But
Yeah.
now that like honestly, traveling is probably the hardest part.
Mhm.
So it's more a combination of me like you said, planning, setting time aside.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, we'll have a date night because most days like I come home from the gym
You're
late and
smoked.
shit. I'm smoked. I don't want to talk. I just want to sit, watch TV, and like we can do that together.
It's not the
But
same.
you also like to
Yeah.
do stuff with your partner. And then
Correct.
every single weekend for the last few weeks I've
We've been gone. Yeah.
literally out of town traveling, and then I come back smoked even more, and
Yeah.
it's like fuck. So first of all is finding the time for that, and second of all is having a very understanding partner.
Well, yeah.
And
Mhm.
I remember hearing something from, I know you like Tim Grover too. He talked about like if you're gonna like sacrifice parts of your relationship with your partner, you better just make sure it was damn well worth it for them in the end.
Yeah.
And like I know for a fact it will. Like Courtney understands that too. She's
Yeah.
like she knows that everything I'm doing right now is gonna be worth it for us in the future.
Yep.
To be set forever.
Yep.
And part of that work he talks about is you just when you're taking that time away from family, partner, friends, relationships, just like make sure you're putting in the work so everyone benefits for it in the end.
And also knowing when that time comes, right?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people, you know, that time comes multiple times and they don't take it because
sure.
they want to keep going.
Yeah.
So there is like I think a lot of people don't understand like in this world that we live in, like we have an exit plan, you know, and a lot of people don't. But like you need that because if you don't have an exit plan, like you're just spinning your wheels forever. And that's when you fuck up the most.
Mm-hmm.
So having an exit plan and giving the time to your, like you said, like, dude, this is not easy. Especially, I mean, we think it's not easy for us, but we're actually the ones who get to do the cool shit. Whereas like, you know, our wives and our girlfriends, sometimes like they don't get to do any of that and they don't get us either. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a slap in the face, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's no really easy answer to that question. So that's the best I
I
got.
thought that was a
And
good one.
honestly, like you bodybuilders are, you know, not just bodybuilders, but those of you guys that love a hobby that really, more so than the hobby itself, it's not going to pay any dividends for you. Like, check yourself. You know, like Chris has to train. He's the best in the world. And that's why I think this podcast is cool too, because there's different perspectives here. I was training to accomplish a goal of attaining a pro card, which whether or not I did that, like that was going to be the end of the road for me, you know? So really in terms of sacrificing, like at that point, maybe it is really selfish of me to take away time from my wife and my kids to accomplish something that really at the end of the day isn't going to change my life at all. You know, we had this conversation. It's not going to change my life. What Chris is doing is really impactful on a really high level, you know, and he's obtaining a standard of being the best in the world at something. So if you're sacrificing, taking away 2 to 3 hours a day away from people that you love or that love you, and really there's no end goal, end destination, or it might just be ultimately taking away from things that you should be investing time into, then check yourself on that.
I mean, literally, just it's not hard. Like you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, "Am I going to be the best?" And it's not to be a dick, but like chances are it's a no. And if it's fucking up your life, like don't fuck up your life.
For sure.
Right.
It's a hard pill to
not worth-
swallow,
yeah.
but like at the same time, it's probably the best one you could swallow as
It also
fast as
shouldn't
possible.
be fucking up your life.
Well, but that's the problem with these
yeah.
kids, bro. That's what they think. They honest to God think like this is, you know, fuck everything,
Sacrifice
my
everything.
goal, this, that, the
Yeah.
other. And it's like the goal, first of all, doesn't do shit for you. And second of all, like you're ruining everything you touch in the process of trying to chase it. So it's probably not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's definitely being very self-aware.
Yes.
So while you can look right now and be like, oh, my pro card would do nothing, the pursuit and the effort and discipline you put into it brought you here.
No, 100%.
Without bodybuilding, like you wouldn't be here either.
Right.
But like you're also a very rare case.
Right.
So it's being self-aware of, is it actually helping, or is your career in a completely unrelated
Yeah.
path?
Right.
And this is just
knowing where to put your energy.
yeah.
Love it. I really like this next question. What is your grail sneaker?
I know what Chris's is.
What do you think it is?
Those ones.
Chicago
The
ones.
Chicago,
The Chicago ones?
Yeah.
I have a cool setup for those too, which I haven't spoken about, but
Really?
yeah. So you guys can go first.
Chicago ones are mine. That's
Well,
what
his are
started
the
it all.
85. I don't
Yeah.
mind. You go first. You
Yeah.
care more about those two.
Yeah, Chicago ones.
The 85s, right?
Yeah. I don't have the OG, but the 85, yeah. And I would say day to day, the Off-White Presto,
What color?
the original one, the original.
Oh, the
10
ugly
pack.
bottom ones. The dirty bottom ones.
Ugly.
They're dirty looking.
Grant, zoom in on that face, please.
I don't have like a grail shoe. I just like all of them. I don't have like one that I'm obsessed
Dom
with.
likes the Off-White Michigan blue dunks that he doesn't wear. That same he got for him.
Yeah, for sure. That's it.
Yeah, mine aren't a grail, but I just have this cool thing after hearing that Michael Jordan laced up his own shoes every single game.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I have my Chicago. They're from 2015, not the 85, but they're unlaced in the box. So when I go to the Olympia to like the press conference or the weigh-ins or whatever I choose to wear them to, I'm going to lace them up before and like
That's dope.
have that kind of like
That's cool.
fuel the goat,
Yeah,
in me,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, as I'm walking in.
Fuck yeah.
So they're sitting in my box right now until the Olympia.
Love it.
That's legit.
That's
Nice.
dope.
That's cool.
We should close every big business deal in Jordans and lace them up
We should.
the day
Like
before.
tuxedos
You guys remember
And
the-
suits.
You remember the meme back in, I don't know how old it was, but it was like a bunch of big wigs from the NBA on the court in their suits, in their Jordans.
No, I love it though. I'd
Yeah.
be totally down for that.
Do you have an opinion on sumo deadlifts?
They're cheating.
I wanted to throw it in there. What do you think of them?
I mean, it's definitely easier.
Yeah,
The pole length is way shorter.
It's like inches.
Yeah.
it's true.
I don't know how odd.
I
I
would
like
say-
playing with this joke, but
Yeah.
obviously I'm kidding.
I would say your adductors have to be. I mean, that's the one thing you need to have strong adductors to be able to do them correctly. So there you go. You can
Nick-
like
Fair
kind of
enough.
Nick Goff told me I don't have a body for deadlifting, so
haven't deadlifted since.
haven't deadlifted since.
Oh man.
Short
All right.
arms, long legs.
All right, this one's a little more personal, I imagine, but how do you know if it's the right time to make a big decision without knowing the outcome?
You don't.
Yeah, you definitely
don't.
don't. Yeah.
You got to trust your
You
instinct.
just fucking go for it. Full send.
You also learn along the way.
That's the best part.
You'll do it, you'll fuck up, and then you're like, why did that fuck up? Like, and then you can learn for the next big mistake, but like big decision, sorry. But you're never going to have a guaranteed outcome.
Or like look at the surroundings that encompass the big decision. For example, like me moving here was a big decision. But I trusted the people that I was moving with. I trusted my business partner. I trusted the direction that we were heading. It wasn't a decision that I made lightly, but at the same time, like, it needed to be done for us to continue to move the business in the direction that we wanted to move it in. But I also didn't go into it like, if everything is a dumpster fire around the decision that you're making, probably not a good decision.
Accurate.
Yeah. And risk versus reward. Always.
Yeah, I mean, you have to calculate that for sure going into something, But like, I had this conversation with, I think it was you, talking about the gym, remember? Like when I leased it.
Oh, yeah, it was just last week. Yeah.
It was last week. Yeah, I think, it was you there. And I was talking about how, like, when I opened the clinic, my first medical office, it was like, my rent was like, $33,000 a month or whatever. It was cheap, right? And then, like, for some strange fucking reason, I decided to go lease like a $26,000 a month square foot gym. And I was like, this is going to work. And like, looking back at it, like, if I was in the position I'm in now, I don't know if I would have done that, but like, I did it and I didn't even think twice about it. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, it's just weird. It's like sometimes you make decisions where, your older self probably wouldn't make them, but if I didn't make that decision, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So it's like, it's all relative.
That also comes into when you really break down risk versus reward. One of the number one things of risk is age.
Sure.
When you're 20 years old, risk doesn't really mean
nearly 3 years ago,
it does when you're 30, 40, 50.
No, I hear you. I get it. But I also think, like, as you go through life, like, and again, like,
yeah, but you have a lot more risk now than you did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So it still applies.
Sure. Yeah.
When you have nothing, you're not afraid to lose shit.
That's true.
I would consider even like age is almost an experience is a better way to change that. You have more knowledge now because of the experience you have.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't change it. Like, if I go back, I wouldn't change it. It's just like me looking back at that exact moment where I was like, this is a good idea. I don't know if I necessarily would have said it was a great idea.
Do you remember why you thought like, this is it?
No.
Just wanted a gym.
Well, so the truth is I started Revive in a really small space, right? The medical office. And then I moved that over to the end of the same plaza. So I had my original lease still, like, I had to pay for it. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to do with this space? So I put a little supplement shop in it. And then that was called EHP. And then I had Revive. So I had these two spaces and I was outgrowing both of them again. So this was not even 2 years into business. It was like maybe a year in. And I had two spaces now that I had fully outgrown and I didn't know what to do. And I got lucky because I had someone who wanted those spaces. So I was like, fuck, it's perfect time for me to go and open, a bigger facility. And I was doing the math and there were no good gyms in the area. There's still like not that many great gyms here. So that's kind of what made me get into it. And I knew the direction of what I wanted. Like, I had this goal in my head when I was in school that I wanted this like all inclusive facility. And like, it's so funny because a lot of the kids I go to school with now message me and they talk about it. They're like, dude, you like literally told me you were going to do this when you were like fucking 20. But it was like the gym, the medical office, the supplement shop, the meals, like it was just a one-stop shop for everything. And I think that was just so ingrained in my head that like nothing was going to stop me from doing it. And if I failed, fuck it. Like, I just would have failed.
But at least you tried.
Yeah. But thank God I didn't fail because I would have sucked.
Probably still would have been fine.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is a cool question. We've gotten this question a lot. What does Raw look for in an athlete in order to sponsor them? We've gotten a lot of, like, even the young guys like Vaughn. Vaughn's a great example.
I mean,
Brett's been a great example.
To cut throat, the initial response is metrics.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
When we don't know shit about someone, it starts with your numbers. What's your engagement like? And then you kind of move backwards from there if someone meets that criteria. We're not looking for everyone to have 500,000 followers. Plus, you could have 10,000 followers, but like a super engaging community. We see you have very like honest, genuine content. It's educational. It's good. It's just honest, really. And you seem like a good person. And I think something different that we have wanted to focus on and what we've learned now out of success is when we have good people who work for us, like just whatever you want to define a good person as, it works out better for everyone in the end.
Yeah.
Especially when we're going to events and meeting people, talking to people.
I agree.
But even from the performance-wise, on the back end of numbers.
Well, here's the crazy thing about that statement is when we first started, we were giving like, what would you consider that? Like salary contracts, right? Is that like what you would consider it? Now every athlete gets the exact same contract. And I think that honestly weeds out the shitbags. And I hate to say that in that way, but like if you're looking at something where you're actually going to take a hit, right? You're coming over to a new brand, but you're going to take a hit, but you see the long-term value. and Brett spoke about this better than anyone on the last podcast. It's not necessarily always about the money you're making up front, because if you look at Vaughn, you know, like Vaughn came over 5 months into social media. He was making great money with his last sponsor. And we gave him 2 options. One option, so we have 2 options in the contract. We have a slight pay raise in the guaranteed, lower commission, or a higher commission, lower base pay. And almost all the athletes that we have brought on have chosen the higher commission, which means they believe in themselves, right? Which is obviously something that's super important when you're looking for someone to come onto your team, but also all the benefits of coming on, like, you know, helping them with clothing if they want to do their own clothing, you know, putting them in front of all the right people, videographers, to grow their own personal brands. And I think once the athletes realize like the value of that over the value of getting a set scale pay, I think that's when like this like switch like clicks in their head, and like they just build their own brand, and then we get to reap the benefit of that behind them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I sent you that screenshot from Magic Johnson yesterday. You know, like we're looking for people that are not nearsighted in terms of how they want to grow their own brand.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson, he basically had an option to get stake in Nike very early on in his career, or he had the option to do a cash deal with Converse. He chose the cash deal in Converse. We've seen many people choose, quote unquote, the cash deals within other supplement companies versus the long-term play with our company. That long-term play with Nike is now worth $5.6 billion.
Yeah, and it honestly, it's not because like we don't want to pay. It's difficult because like we all got here from like working for it. Like everyone at this table didn't make a lot of money. You know, I mean, I can speak for everyone here, and I know that for a fact. So it's like when these people come on board and they're like, "Well, I want this," it's like, "Yo, that's more than I make." You know, and it's
not to mention, if you could really pull in those numbers, you're still going to make a lot of money right off the bat.
No, for sure. And that's what's rewarding now, is it's just like you see these kids come on board, and you know, for a little bit I was like very worried about the new generation of fitness, because I was like, what the fuck is happening to these kids? And then, you know, Vaughn comes in and just surprises me like crazy, you know, and again with Brett, like Brett's the same way, you know, but getting paid less, you know, and look at him killing it. You know, not anymore, because, you know, his commission is crazy.
Right.
Less guaranteed. Exactly. You know, and it's a tiered system. So it is what it is. If you have a shit month, you know, it's on you. Yeah. And they're, you know, working their asses off. They're here. They're, you know, Vaughn's here every day coming in, you know, what can I do? How can I get better? I'm going to do this giveaway. I want to do this to help. And it's just like, that's what you need to do. There's no easy way to get here. There's no, like, I don't give a shit how many followers you have, because half of it doesn't even translate most of the time. Yeah. It has to do with real life engagement.
But like what Brett's done is he's built trust within his audience. You know, he doesn't even have to overly push product anymore. Yeah. They just support him because they trust in what he promotes and what he's associated with.
Yeah. That's a big thing too, and something where I think I did a really good job considering the amount of offers I've got in my career, but there's still a lot of stuff I wish I had said no to. Yeah. But like at this point in my career, I'm not in contract with anyone other than something I have ownership in and fully back. Yeah. Other than that, I have no promised contract with a single person, and I think that shows a lot. Obviously, it's different at this point in my career, but looking back at other people, if I look in your bio and you have teeth whitening strips, fucking this, that,
exactly.
You know, all this random shit you're promoting, like that's devaluing your brand. You're losing trust, because everyone knows that stuff is bullshit. And people don't just want to be a salesman. They want to follow a salesman and trust someone.
Do you remember when we had Stipe?
Yeah.
Like when Stipe left, I forget who it was with Jim, and then he went to the other management company. Like, I think it was like within a week's time, he was like sponsored by a gas station, a fence company, a flagpole company, I think a Slurpee drink. I was just like, what the fuck happened? Like, there's just a whole paid advert. It's like a paid commercial, you know, and like that, people read through that, you know. Yeah. And it's how you sell what you're a part of too. Like, you could have multiple sponsors, and it's just the way you approach selling it is huge. Right, like you don't push anything. You just talk about it
when you genuinely back the stuff.
For sure, about. Yeah.
And like, I think people understand that with me, but I don't think they understand that I turn down like hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. Crazy. Probably $500,000 a year. Yep. And like that, like more money, easily $500,000. If I tried, probably more. But I just say no to it all, and I like cry about it sometimes in my sleep. But I know my long-term play is not to be a D-bag on social media and trying to sell you stuff that I don't want, and I want to build your guys' trust, and I want to have stuff I actually stand behind, like the products we have with Raw, everything we're doing, the merch we wear that I wear all the time, like everything.
Yeah, that's a red flag. Like if someone's promoting something and like they only wear it on an individual Instagram post that they put on their page, they probably don't believe in the product.
Yeah.
It's cool to see when people share. I've noticed some more, at least being here, when it's, you can tell when somebody shares, like if it's Raw Revive, for example, but then they take something else. Like they take a different supplement or a different brand because they need this specific thing, and it's no harm, no foul.
We don't even we let
mind.
people do that.
Of course.
Oh, you're talking about athletes?
Just in general.
Well, even with athletes,
Yeah.
like I mean, some of our top athletes take other shit, and we don't care if they post it. It's real.
But it's the genuine piece of that allows people to trust them more. Is what you're kind of getting at.
I'm actually, which I wanted to talk to you about, but I am coming off of my thyroid medication that I've been on since 2013, with the goal to be able to use our thyroid product. But I kind of need to have like a merger of products in the middle. So I'm taking 4 other companies' products right now with the long-term goal of being able to get off medication and use our product long-term. And I want to talk about that. Sorry.
That
I'm
much.
trying to get better with this sound. But yeah, so I mean, that's something, you know, we don't create every single product, nor do you have to push every single thing that we make if it's not something you personally take.
On the front of it, like the sponsorship side of things, I think this is an odd question, but an interesting one because I don't know why somebody would think this. But do you think TikTok ruined the fitness industry?
Ask Marco.
He says, was it better without it? I don't think it made a difference.
I don't even have a TikTok, or I don't.
I feel like there's
Is there a negative connotation around TikTok and fitness?
100%, but I also feel like there's I don't want to say any name, but there's a certain people in this industry who think like they're more hardcore and they're more bodybuilders than everyone else, and then everything else is just stupid, and they talk shit about it. Like, so they're just like the old fitness bodybuilding way is the only way, and then like anything else is different. But like this is it's a new generation. It's what every young kid loves it. Every young kid looks up to those other kids like that. To say that's stupid is just wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, like when we meet like kids like Marco, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
I tell him to his face, you gotta see me call him that, but he's not.
No,
he's very intelligent. He works very hard,
Yep.
and he's very calculated. Yeah, like he's legit.
Yeah. I think one thing that a lot of people in our industry hate is change. You know, it's like they finally figure it out and then boom, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing that keeps you relevant in this industry is always staying on top of it, right? So like, do I love TikTok? No. But am I going to go find the best fucking TikTok kids in the world to promote our brand? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be naive to the fact that, you know, it's not what it used to be. You know, Instagram and Facebook now are like almost obsolete compared to TikTok. And if you don't get that, I'm sorry, but figure it the fuck out.
It was that way when those two platforms came along.
I mean, it was MySpace, bro. I mean, it's all relative. You just need to continuously get better and evolve with time.
When I first started doing YouTube, bodybuilders hated like sharing stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, like, what bodybuilder doesn't do that?
Well, I mean, but honestly, that's pretty new. Like the actual real, like open 212 bodybuilder YouTube is fairly new.
Yeah, they're still fighting against that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very new.
Say they're honestly still not on board. I mean,
But I mean, I would say like the better of the group, right? I mean, like if you want to say it, like Nick really was, I think, the first one to pop off on open YouTube, right?
Probably. Maybe.
It was, I mean, Jay
consistently,
obviously,
yeah.
but like it was Nick. You know, Nick is the first one to do that. So Nick blew that up, and then you saw people come behind Nick and start doing it, and they've all had success with it. But like, good for Nick. You know, like he capitalized on something, and people might hate him for that, but the kid's securing his fucking future. I don't blame him for it, and anyone who does is just a fucking asshole.
But yeah, I also don't know what people's definition of ruining is. You know.
Yeah,
Like, would you consider the world ruined right now?
Yeah.
No, I just
all
think
in a miss. Like,
I think the problem is it's taking away from like the
Consistency.
open, going to the Olympia, only seeing it in person. Like that's the old school bodybuilding that those people just it's not relevant anymore.
I mean, I guess.
I think from how I would take that question is that the consistency within training variables is kind of thrown out the window with this new style of seeing what people are posting on TikTok, replicating it in the gym, waiting to see what they're posting the next day, replicating that in the gym.
That's the same shit from
just
Instagram. They did that on Instagram.
I know, but I would imagine that's what maybe that question is referring to.
Maybe,
yeah.
Yeah, but
But
then
again,
it's
we all trained stupid
yeah.
when we were young, and then
You're right.
learn. So.
It's your own fault. You have to learn.
Yeah.
All right. Last one to wrap it up. What does the Raw team think they need to improve upon the most as a business and brand at this point in time?
Communication, I think, can always be improved. I mean, that's an easy cop out, but it's the truth, I think.
Sure.
I think building out more of a leadership team for the whole entire business is very crucial at this point. I think we've just realized like we've stepped into a new realm of like size of business. And I think that there needs to be more checks and balances put in place and just more overall SOPs. And, you know, I do my best to do all that stuff as quickly and as efficiently as I can, but like it's a whole new world now.
Structures and systems.
Foundation.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a good foundation.
We have a good foundation, but like, let's say you have a good foundation that 500 square meters, but now our business just grew to 1,000. We got to grow with it underneath, you know?
We're trying to build like the Empire State Building on a 2-car garage concrete slab right now.
Yeah. Like you start as a small business and then it's a very long process to not become a small business anymore. And
correct. And I think
be very
like,
stable underneath everything to hold that all up.
Yeah. I mean, it's just more employees, you know, more, I mean, product in different states. Like it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So just getting all, and just leading the right way. You know, you can always be a better leader. So just continuously getting better at that.
Love it. That's a wrap. Anything else you guys want to? 16. Any other pieces? Probably shout out. I would say shout out to everybody for supporting the drop.
Yeah, seriously.
That was awesome.
Thank you guys
Oh
for
yeah,
yesterday.
yesterday's drop was crazy.
Yeah, the most stuff we've ever dropped on a day.
And it was definitely one of our biggest days ever. Like, absolutely insane.
I think I remember you asking a question prior, episode 2 or something, whenever we did a Q&A, like what could we be better at? And I think we talked about planning ahead.
We crushed it.
And what we have our board, and we've been planning ahead. And the reason we had such a big drop yesterday was
planning
8 new items because we were planning so far ahead.
Yeah,
and
we planned that literally like
stuff.
6 months ago?
No,
at least 4 months ago.
4,
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I think January, February is when you started to map that out on the sort of whiteboard.
So we planned that before the NFTs popped off. So I think it was in December.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was before you went to Aspen. We sat over there.
Yep.
One of the cool things that Chris said a while back, it was actually in Christian Guzman commended you for it, is that you said the Alpha Land event was great, but we could improve on this. So it was cool to see like we improved the drops, and now how can we improve this drop to make the next one better and the next one better, the iteration of that. So I think it'll be cool to see how we can
keep getting
continue
better. You
to improve.
die.
I don't know if you die, but
You'll
You
literally
die.
die.
all right.
You will burn into ashes.
On that note,
You'll be in hell, which actually is worse than death.
okay.
So
You heard it here.
Episode 16.
Getting dark. All right, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you in the next one.